Hey traders, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Tuesday, December 1st. It's the start of a new month, and make sure to hit the like, subscribe to the channel before we jump into today's content. But I do want to go through things a little bit faster today, as I do have somewhere to be here in about 30 minutes. So I'll run through this as quickly as possible for you folks today. McConnell shoots down bipartisan $900 billion coronavirus stimulus plan as stalemates drag on. So we saw that there was a proposal and they were looking to bail out the airline industry, a few other industries, but majority in the airline industry, and McConnell shut that down. And Biden also urged Congress to pass a robust stimulus bill, but it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon. We'll see if it can happen before the end of the year, though, and into the first half of 2021. We also saw that Trump plans to sue Wisconsin over the Biden victory. So we'll see if there's any development there. Obviously, he lost again on the recount. Zoom shares continue falling after signs of slowing growth. So they said that they basically gave poor guidance, and that's why the stock is down, saying that there might not be a huge future for it in a couple of years. Gold prices logs first big daily jump in over 3 weeks. So in my video yesterday, I was highlighting the support line on gold, which I'll bring up in just a second, and said that we could probably expect a bounce off that long-term monthly support line, and that's exactly what we got. We also saw that Democratic Senator blast Mnuchin for ending the situation, the global situation that we have at hand, the loan programs that had to do with that. So try not to say that word as much as possible. We also saw that Elon Musk sent an email today to his employees saying that the stock will get crushed if they don't basically keep their costs under control. And people are expecting a lot from them, and they're due to join the S&P 500 later this month. We also saw that BlackBerry surges most ever on Amazon auto collaboration software. So the stock was up very, very big today. We'll take a look at that in just a second, but I also ordered some Hexo products. They just arrived today. Pretty excited about this. So they have the new Up brand. They actually came out with some news today. They're rebranding. So the Up cannabis is going to be guaranteed 20% cannabis every time and above, but at least 20% and above every time. So in each bag that you buy. Also got the OS Click, OS Hash, some XMG, THC drops, some very well CBD drops, and a bunch of their vapes. So can't wait to dip into those later on today. But just checking into the crypto sector. So we did see another rejection after a new all-time high test, and we dropped from 19,900 all the way down to just a little over 18,000. And you can see that we are within that range right now, and we're right in the middle of that range. XRP, everything else basically doing the exact same, everything moving in tandem with one another. And we'll see, most important support right now is going to be 19,000. And then after that, we'll look down here to the 18,109 level, and this is on Coinbase. And we have a lower high every candle, so we'll want to break the previous high of the 4-hour candle to know that that bounce is underway. But essentially just range bound. You can see SPY's up a little tiny bit after hours, QQQ up a little bit, but we saw a little bit of weakness into the end of the day. But it does look like we broke to new all-time highs, pretty much everything trying to break to all-time highs at the moment. And you can see here that that's the highest daily close ever on SPY. And do we have the highest daily close ever on QQQ? Yes, we do. Just barely got over it. Highest close ever. So congrats to the bulls. Let's take a look at the dollar. So dollar getting crushed today down to 91.19. I've been highlighting this for a while. Once we lost that key 91.74 support, it was basically free fall, and we don't have any real support down to 88, 89, 88 and 89. So that's what I'd be looking for, a potential bounce point there. Let's take a look at the monthly here. Yeah, it's not looking good on the dollar whatsoever. But let's take a look at some of the other sectors. So again, I'm going to run through these a little quicker today. IWM up almost 1%. NASDAQ up 1.5% essentially. SMH saw a big day today, up almost 2%. And like I said, SPY and QQQ record all-time daily closes. Oil pulling back a little over 1%, but as I mentioned, gold was likely due for a bounce. So I drew this long-term uptrend line, and that's exactly where we started to bounce off of. We broke out of the descending triangle on the weekly. And like I said, we probably just anticipate either a small bounce, maybe a bear flag, or a lower high, and then maybe a confirmed downtrend, and then we test 1670 support. We'll have to see how the markets roll out over the next couple of weeks. If we start to see fear and whatnot ramp up in the market, that could accelerate it to the downside. But as long as everything stays status quo, I don't see that happening right away. I would expect at least a daily lower high or a weekly lower high, and then into a downtrend into that 1670 support. XBI, a little bit weaker today, down 0.23%. XHB down about 0.5%. XLE, energy sector, up about 0.5%. XLF saw a nice day, up a little over 1.5%. Real estate trust up about 1.2%. And XLV, the healthcare sector, up almost 1%. So that's where we stand. Wasn't really that exciting of a day. Obviously, we hit all-time highs in SPY and QQQ, and then we just, slow grind up all day, and we basically broke down into the end of the day after that stimulus news that came out. So that's where we stand on our global indices. We'll take a look at BlackBerry here real quick. So huge volume on the day, most daily volume ever, I believe. It had 318 million shares traded. So 318 million times, say, $6. Wow. That's almost $2 billion traded hands today in BlackBerry. And you can see we had a bearish reversal candle there on the daily, but a huge gap in the chart as well. And I was looking here potentially, we did have a falling wedge on the 5-minute, but it's just kept going and into the end of the day. And now we're starting to see, maybe that's probably what they were doing, is fading, slow fade into the end of the day, shake out the weak hands, then ramp it after hours. But I was eyeing EMA 12 and 26 as a potential bounce point, and we were in that 5-minute downtrend. We also had increasing bear volume as well, so that's notable. Not a huge amount of volume, but definitely enough to be worried about, as it's over the 20-period moving average. And like I said, most important support is going to be 692, but we'll want to see a 5-minute trend change at the very least to be confident that the hourly bounce is underway, and we'll want to break the high of today first thing tomorrow. Apple up 3% today. So taking a look at the bear list, Zoom down 15%, NKLA down almost 15%, just as shares unlock. It's just a bad situation there. And this is exactly why you need to have a plan, and you don't get complacent, because this stock just absolutely got crushed up to $38, down 55%, and a bear cross potentially setting up here. It's not looking good. JMIA down another 13%, NEO down 10%. BlackBerry leading the move up, Space up 6%, MU up 4%. Riot continues its move higher as well. Apple, Tesla up 3%, Netflix over 500. So obviously tech names seeing majority of the move today. And just taking a look at the cannabis sector. So we had ACV, PCLO, Huge, VFF, and Tilray, Sundial all down about 10%. OGI as well. APHA almost 10% down. Hexo was down about 10% and finished a little less than 5% down. And held up better than most of the tier 1 names in Canada. So we'll want to change that 5-hour trend. Again, it's all about the hourly higher lows. It could be a potential hourly inverse head and shoulders here as well off of $1 support. But essentially, we're going to be looking for that inverse head and shoulders. Could also be forming there on the 15-minute. But like I said, we want to see at least at the bare minimum a 5-minute trend change. And we need to break over 107 to confirm that. So we'll take a look at CGC. Actually, I do want to highlight one thing on Hexo. So we are in a weekly uptrend. We were in a daily uptrend, and then we did set a daily higher low there at 71, and we broke to a higher high. So we're in a daily uptrend. And let's take a look at the monthly here. So we have a monthly uptrend as well with a low, high, higher low, higher high. We are pulling back a little bit here, but we are in a monthly uptrend. So that's notable that that's the first time that's happened since the all-time highs. And after 129, we don't have really any real resistance on this chart up till the all-time highs. That's absolutely insane. We obviously have EMA 26 there at $1.86. We have some moving averages as well. Just taking a look at the weekly, we're above the 10-week moving average, but on the daily, we're well above. We have the golden cross forming, basically kissing each other right now at 74 cents. And on the weekly, you can see we bounced essentially off that 86 support on the 50 weekly moving average, but no real resistance up until the 100-week moving average, which is at 283 and with the 200 undefined. So we could see a lot more upside. Personally, I'm still holding all of my shares in Hexo, and I'm feeling great about my position. I have an average of about 65, 70 cents on the US ticker. So sitting comfortably, and it was nice to see it hold $1 today. But CGC also up, down 7.5% essentially, but in a monthly uptrend. So we're starting to see some positive momentum and could even see a potential bull cross here of EMA 12 through 26. Taking a look at Canadian or American MJ, Chiron down almost 12%, MedMen down 11%, VFF down 11%, CWeb down 7%, Ian up 25%, CL up 2%, Trul up 2%. So not really much in terms of the MSOs. Ian just seeing a short squeeze, in my opinion, could be a potential cup and handle here as well to be eyeing out for. But the entry that was there off of 10 cents. Psychological, you would have set your stop below that, you would have been up just a little over 100%. So congrats to the bulls there. And again, I don't really expect, we do have the federal legalization marijuana vote. It should be sometime between tomorrow and Friday. So keep an eye out for that. We also have the jobless claims on Thursday, and we have the November jobs report on Friday. So with that, thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. Again, I had to cut this video a little shorter today as I have plans and places to be. So again, hope you found value in the information today. Thanks for joining us for another daily market recap, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video.